Thank you for joining us this week for This Needs to Be Said TV. I'm your host, Katherine Waddell, and we're excited to have you for the next 59 minutes spending time with us. We don't take that lightly. We have lots of great information for you as we do each week. We're going to talk about finances. We're going to talk about adoption. Our This Needs to Be Said animation will play. We have some independent music and, of course, our daily dose of weird news and so much more. Send us an email. Let us know what you're thinking about the show at letstalk@thisneedstobesaid.com. We want to hear from you. Let's continue to grow this show together. We want to bring you the content that's going to help you live your best life. Let's expose those elephants in the room. Live the life that's going to help you be happy. Hello, this is Katherine Waddell of This Needs to Be Said Media, and if you are new to This Needs to Be Said Media, I want to definitely take the time and introduce myself to you. I started my radio show 5 years ago, and prior to that, I had a blog that was about a year old, and I called it This Needs to Be Said, and the reason for that blog, it was personal, and I really wasn't expecting people to pay too much attention to my rants or just the things that I thought that should be said, so I'd write it down in a blog. And because writing was my thing, before doing radio, I didn't even like my voice, so that took some getting used to. But started a radio show 5 years ago, and then I moved to television about 3 years ago, and now we're doing business coaching, media coaching, and facilitating classes for business owners. So over the past few years, things have grown quite a bit. We still have a ways to go, and just getting an idea of what people want and what they're willing to invest in has been a part of this business, just like any other business, that I've found to be a bit of a challenge, but we face it and we overcome it each day. I have great partnerships. I have a wonderful team of people, as well as the circle of people that are around me to support me, to help me to develop personally and to grow, and so I can in turn do that for other people. So in a nutshell, we are a media company, which means we have radio and television, that part of the media anyway. And we look forward to you, tuning into our radio show and our television show and learning some things from us, as well as we look forward to you leaving some comments and how to contact you. And we want to learn from you as well. This is not a one-sided relationship. It has never been a one-sided relationship. And a lot of times people don't quite know who's in charge around here because everyone works so well together, and everyone comes and they're able to be professional and talk from their passion, and they share the platform and they support one another. So that's what we look forward to doing in the community as well. So if you have anything going on with your business or in your community, wherever you are in the world, leave us a comment, let us know. Leave your website. I do check those out. I do sign up for people's email list of things, of course, that we can benefit from. And I think that there's something to benefit from everyone. So share with us and let's grow together. Thank you for stopping by.
Calling all dreamers. Dreamers, come and get it. You ready? Come and get it. You want it? Come and get it right here. Come and get it for real. Just come and get it. Takes work, but you can get it. Takes time, but you can get it. Stop talking. Come and get it. Keep pushing and you will get it. You hope and ask for great things when you dream. Watching others make it happen easily, it seems. But you don't see behind the scenes. It's called the real deal. You gotta make it happen. Now that's keeping it real. You ready? Come and get it. You want it? Come and get it right here. Come and get it for real. Just come and get it. Takes work, but you can get it. Takes time, but you can get it. Stop talking. Come and get it. Keep pushing and you will get it. You may have heard of faith without works is dead. If you're just depending on faith, you misled. Even with the unseen working for you, you still have to give it your all and do your part too. You ready? Come and get it. You want it? Come and get it right here. Come and get it for real. Just come and get it. Takes work, but you can get it. Takes time, but you can get it. Stop talking. Come and get it. Keep pushing, and you will get it. You ready? Come and get it. You want it? Come and get it right here. Come and get it for real. Just come and get it. Takes work, but you can get it. Takes time, but you can get it. Stop talking. Come and get it. Keep pushing, and you will get it. And you will get it. And you will get it. You gotta want it. You gotta want it. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? You gotta want it. You gotta want it. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? You ready? Come and get it.
Hi, I'm Regina Taylor, an adoption attorney located in Gastonia, North Carolina, and I was recently asked a step-parent adoption question. A gentleman asked how he could prevent his ex-wife's new husband from adopting their child. First, the proper course of action should have been for your ex-wife and her husband to ask for your consent to adoption. But since they didn't, the next alternative for them would be for them to attempt to terminate your parental rights. You should be contacted or somehow served with documents, particularly if they are in another state and not in North Carolina. You should be served with some type of documents in an attempt to terminate your parental rights. You should immediately retain an attorney to represent you so that you can contest this action. If you reside here in North Carolina, you should be served with a petition to terminate your parental rights, and you should be served with it by the sheriff or by certified mail. In North Carolina, you are immediately appointed an attorney to represent your interests. If you are financially able or unable to retain your own attorney, then you can retain the court-appointed attorney. Otherwise, you have to secure your own. This attorney will file a response to the termination action and will defend you in any later court proceeding to terminate your parental rights. I have to strongly encourage you to make some contact with your ex-wife to ensure that they don't try, particularly if she lives in another state, that they don't try to use some father's registry or something like that to terminate your rights. But you should not sit still, and you should retain your own counsel to defend you. Your ex-wife cannot just unilaterally decide that to allow her husband to adopt your child. In addition, depending upon the age of your child, if your child is 12 years old or older, your child has to also consent to that adoption. So without your consent or your agreement to the adoption, this adoption cannot move forward. If you should have any other questions about step-parent adoption or termination of parental rights, you can visit my website at www.attorneyreginataylor.com or contact my office at 704-861-0700 or contact us toll-free at 866-501-2098. Attorney in North Carolina, and I'd like to talk to you about how to deal with the birth father's parental rights. Many times in an adoption, the adoptive couple only initially deals with the birth mother. That's who you've met, that's who you've talked to, that's who you've come to know. But always in an adoption, we have to deal with the birth father's rights. Now, there's several ways that this can be done. One the law requires that you either obtain the consent of the birth father or you terminate his parental rights in some manner. First, and the easiest way to do it, is to get the birth father to sign a consent to adoption. Many times that's not possible if you don't know who he is or if you don't know where he is. But for our purposes today, we'll talk about how to get a birth father or how to deal with a birth father in an adoption when you know who and where he is. The easiest way to do that is to ask the birth father to sign a consent to adoption. Your adoption attorney should be able to do this for you. The consent to adoption form is a form that the birth father can sign. It will state his name, it will state that he is the father of the child, and it will either list the child's name, or if the child isn't born yet, then it will list the date that the child is going to be born. Now, a birth father can sign a consent to adoption before the birth of the child, or he can sign after the birth of the child. Now, it's always easier, it's just one more thing that we've taken care of if you get it signed before the birth of the child. Sometimes birth fathers don't want to do that. If they're still in a relationship with the birth mother, they may want to sign when she signs after the birth of the child. But in most instances, if the couple has made up their mind, or if they're not a couple anymore, if they both have agreed and have come to the conclusion that they're going to place this child for adoption, then it's usually no problem getting the birth father to sign the form before the birth of the child. As I stated, the form will list the birth father's name, his age, his address, his mailing address. It will also list the adoptive couple's names. The form goes on to say that the birth father transfers all of his rights to legal and physical custody of the child. He transfers all of that over to the adoptive couple. The form goes on to state that if there is any other agreements that the couple have made, such as to send the birth father pictures after the birth of the child or anything like that, those agreements in no way affect this written document, the consent to adoption. It also has a statement in there that the birth father understands that upon the entry of the adoption decree, all of his legal rights to the child are terminated. Now, the signing of a consent to adoption does not relieve the birth father or the biological father of his obligation to pay child support. So if he's already, let's say that we're after the birth of the child, or this is a toddler, an older child, then that parent's obligation to provide support continue until the signing of the adoption decree. The form also sets forth that the birth father has received an unsigned copy of that consent to adoption, that he's been informed by either the adoptive couple or the adoptive couple's attorney that he has the right to obtain his own legal counsel to review that document with him. He also is informed that he has the right to obtain counseling through any Department of Social Services or child placement agency in the state. The form goes on to state that which county the adoption petition will be filed in. And generally you know that because that will either be the county where the adoption agency is located or where the couple lives. Also, the North Carolina form, consent to adoption, specifies that it will identify an individual to whom a revocation of consent should be delivered to. In most adoptions, I'll list my name as the attorney representing the adoptive couple if that's who I in fact do represent. The form goes on to inform the birth father that he has 7 days, just like the birth mother does, he has 7 days that he can revoke his consent after the signing of the adoption petition. And those 7 days count, they go from, you begin counting the day after he signs, and it'll include any legal holidays that may be between or within that 7-day period. However, he has until the next business day to file that with the court if the last day is a legal holiday. Finally, the form goes on to inform him that if he wishes to revoke, he can get a copy of that form at any clerk of court's office in the entire state of North Carolina. The clerk of court's office maintains these forms in the special proceedings unit where they typically handle adoptions. Now, if the birth father for some reason revokes his consent and then comes back later and signs a second consent, then his consent immediately becomes irrevocable. Now, the birth father, just like the birth mother, is entitled to receive a copy of the couple's pre-placement assessment. If he does not receive that pre-placement assessment before he signs that consent to adoption, then he's given additional time after he receives that pre-placement assessment that he can still revoke his consent to the adoption. Now, of course, once that 7-day period has passed, that 7-day revocation period has passed, then the consent, becomes final, and it can only be set aside upon a showing that the birth father was defrauded into signing it, he was harassed, or he was under duress, I guess is the proper term. He was under duress when he was signing it, or he was in some way tricked into signing it. The law is very specific, but that's a very high burden to show. But as I stated before, the easiest way to deal with the birth father's parental rights, either before or after the birth of the child, is to have him sign a consent to adoption. In adoptions that I handle, when I first meet the birth mother, I ask her about the birth father. I ask her where he was last located so that we can find him if she doesn't know where he is anymore. But getting that consent to adoption signed prior to the birth of the child is probably one of the easiest ways, and it's the easiest way to give you, the adoptive couple, some comfort in knowing that at least that aspect of the adoption has been resolved. If you have any questions about adoptions, or you're looking for an experienced attorney to assist you with your adoption, please feel free to give us a call at 704-861-0700, or you can contact us via our website, where we have some additional information about adoptions at www.attorneyreginataylor.com. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you.
Your mother called today to see when you could come over to screw in some more light bulbs. She didn't remember talking to you about Saturday would be your designated day. Do you know why she would not remember speaking with you about it?
What are you trying to say? Just because she does not remember the conversation does not mean we did not speak. I am trying, and you seem to be accusing me of lying.
I am not accusing you of anything. I am just pointing out that the communication you claim to relay to her failed miserably.
So you are saying that I am lying? I am trying, sitting here to a fancy dinner with you, making time for date night, and you are tripping on my mother's failed memory?
She is not that old. How can she forget something you just talked about yesterday? You know what? I think you are getting defensive. Now what?
I think you're being petty.
Let me find out. It seems like you want to sleep on the couch when we get back to the house?
No, I did talk to her, and she said that she understands and is willing to work with us, so our marriage can be successful. I can't think of any reason why she wouldn't recall.
Really?
I'm Darren Marlar, and this is your daily dose of weird news. Prosecutors say a Philadelphia man robbed a New Jersey bank 4 months after he was released from prison for robbing the same place 5 years earlier. They claim that 54-year-old Keith Ney, he entered the Cape Bank in Atlantic City on April 23rd and gave a teller a note that said he had a gun. Ney had been released from prison last December and was still on supervised release. Well, you know what they say. You find something you love to do, you find a way to make money at it. Well, this weekend in London, patrons at Alcoholic Architecture, they were served booze as a mist in the air. About 40 minutes standing around, it's said to be the equivalent of one fairly strong drink. So when you go in there, the only thing in your glass will be ice and cherries. A Peoria, Arizona couple discovered 2 worms inside the salmon they purchased from a grocery store. Worms? Ugh. Well, all right, well, how the heck do you think those salmon were caught in the first place? Yeah, probably on worms. Appeals court judges have vacated 5 of the 18 corruption convictions for former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich. That's not good news, people. This could ruin Blago's chances to get into the Illinois Politician Hall of Fame on the first ballot. A driving instructor in China lost his job after he was caught driving home drunk after a banquet thrown by his students. Sounds like he's just a non-traditional educator. I think maybe he's just using reverse psychology as a lesson. What do you think? Olympic athletes training in the waters of Rio are getting sick from the highly contaminated water that's being described as way beyond toxic and loaded with human feces. The good thing, though, is they don't have to worry about shark attacks. The sharks have no interest in opening their mouths in that water. 7-Eleven says they'll be testing a delivery service. The company announced the news recently, saying the new service is a partnership with Postmates, which also teamed up with Chipotle recently to offer delivery in some cities. This after announcements from Dunkin' Donuts, KFC, McDonald's, and others about home delivery testing. I may never have to leave the house ever again. Now send me my cola-flavored Super Slurpee. That's your Daily Dose of Weird News. I'm Darren Marlar. You can get more weird news at dailydoseofweirdnews.com, where you can find me on Spreaker, YouTube, and on iTunes, where you can subscribe, rate, and review the show. You can also join the free Facebook page for even more weird news stories every day. That's Daily Dose.
Have you heard about Jay and Linda?
No, what happened with Jay and Linda? Are they splitting up?
No, I don't think so, but he is definitely in the doghouse. He missed their anniversary.
I never thought that she was good enough for him anyway. He didn't remember because he is just not into her.
Do you hear yourself? I thought you were her friend. That is even why I bother telling you what has happened.
I am her friend, that is why I am telling the truth. She has no business with him. She is too bossy. I bet she wants him to choose between her and his mother.
Why would you say that?
Because she is selfish and self-centered. It's just like her. Isn't she asking him to choose?
She just wants him to celebrate them being together, and he doesn't seem to understand that. It is so important to reflect on the past. He just missed the point.
I am putting you and her in the same category. You need to get a clue. The man never wanted her. He should have never married my friend.
Hello and welcome to Let's Talk About It. I'm your host, Charay, and I want to wish everybody a happy holidays from my family to yours. Today I have with me actress Charnele Brown, who goes by the name Kim Reese on the hit show A Different World. Welcome, Charnele.
Thank you, Charay. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming on to my show. I truly appreciate it.
And I appreciate you.
Aw, thank you. Okay, so before we go into all the great things that you're doing over there in Houston, Texas, I want you to take us back to who is Charnele Brown and how did she get her start in acting?
Well, actually, I'm from East Hampton, Long Island, New York.
Right.
Since I was second grade, I knew that I wanted to become an actress. And so I have a little short story quickly. We used to go to the pond every Friday, second grade, and I was quite bored watching the ducks. And so at the time I'm dating myself, I was watching Lassie on TV, and usually with this dog Lassie, he always comes back at the end. This time it took a little longer, I started to cry. And I realized that I could make myself cry. I had no idea it was a technique. We call it Stanislavski since memory back then. And so what I did was the following Friday, I went to the pond, and I started remembering Lassie started crying. And so the teacher, Miss White, was saying, "Oh my God, what's wrong with you?" I was like, "My brother." And she said, "What happened to you, brother?" I said, "My brother died in the pond." Now, mind you, I just have a sister.
Oh.
I didn't think it through. I wasn't sophisticated enough to think it through. And so we stopped, with the pond. We went back to the class. Everybody gave me their candy. It was the time of my life. I was so my teacher. I was so convinced that she had called my mom and asked my mom, "I'm so sorry I took her to the pond. I'm so sorry about your son." My mom was like, "What son?" She said, "The son that died in the pond." Well, needless to say, my mom made me go back in front of the whole class and say that I lied. I had no brother, and it was humiliating.
Oh, wow.
So from that day on, she was like, "Listen, she's either going to be a pathological liar or an actor." So they started putting me to classes, and that's when it started.
Wow. Oh, wow, that is a story.
In second grade,
Uh-huh.
I knew this, yeah.
Wow, awesome. Wow. So tell us, actually, who did you get your start with as far as getting on the show?
Well, actually, I was doing Serafina on Broadway.
Okay.
I was one of the first Americans in the class. And I was doing Broadway there. We were out there for about a year at the Court Theater. And at the time, I was looking for a manager.
Okay.
And flat out, these two beautiful white ladies told me that my color was in that season.
Wow.
So
She said my color.
Okay. They were just blunt, and I respect them for that look.
Wow.
People's intelligent levels, go so far. And so I told her fine, and then they were looking for, Lisa Bonet had left the show, and they were looking for two people to replace her. And so they called me up out of the blue and said, "Look, I know you're doing Serafina, but would you like to audition?" And I was like, "No problem," because I was on our way to Africa, which was my dream.
Okay.
We're going to tour. We're going to leave Court Theater and go to Africa. And so when I went into audition, I really didn't put a lot of effort into it.
Okay.
It didn't matter because I was theater baby. I had arrived. And that's what I really wanted to do in life. I didn't think about doing TV or anything like that. I love theater. And so I went in and did a haphazard job, and they called me back in. And before I know it, I'm on a plane, for my my screen test. Yeah, it was really, it happened that quickly. That quick. And before I knew it, I was in L.A.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a blessing. Wow. Right time.
Yeah, it was definitely a blessing because there were so many people, so much better than I was. But I always tell people, when it's your season,
Right.
written in your book, it's going to happen.
Amen.
Regardless
Amen.
of what people think. It was my time, and God allowed me to step into my destiny. So
Well, you definitely have a lot of fans, and even still, they're like, "Oh, wow," they couldn't even wait for this interview. So I'm just so honored.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So do you keep in contact with any of them still, or?
I do. I talk to Justin. I talk to Cree, and every once in a while I'll talk to the guys.
Wow.
But Justin's a very dear friend of mine. I love her to death, and Cree,
Wow.
love her so much. And
Wow.
so that's like my second family.
Awesome.
They're really, really good people.
Awesome. Well, I hope they bring back some shows from the 90s because TV is definitely lacking.
But I believe it's full circle. It'll come back around. around again. It always does. If you see the pattern,
Yes.
it comes back full circle. But I just hope that as African Americans, we're ready to put on things that will enhance our community as opposed to hurting it.
Right.
It's unfortunate that we have a responsibility. It's that it was just laid upon us because of the way that we were brought over here. So we have to really be responsible and let our kids see that you can graduate from college, or you can get a trade. You can matter of fact, you can love and respect one another and respect your elders.
Right.
And all that stuff is gone.
Right.
There's no value.
Yes.
There's no. I mean, we're on sinking sand here. They don't know our history and background. Nobody's telling them. It's not in the schools. And so where are they going to get them? It should come from home.
Yes, I agree.
And you have a lot of parents that don't know where we come from.
Right.
I mean, we come from a long line of incredible kings and queens. That was second queens.
Yes.
You're talking about the 25th dynasty. I mean, it was Africans. I mean, they were black people that reigned in the 25th dynasty. And to this day in London, they have all the dynasties on display, and the 25th is missing. So I teach my kids, why do you think they do that? We are very powerful.
Right.
And if you don't recognize how powerful you are, they know it. You just don't know it.
Right.
Look up your history and know who you are, and you'll be surprised. And a lot of things won't be done that we're doing to each other if we really know how valuable and how powerful we really are.
Right. We're lacking fulfilling our true destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Wow.
Definitely.
Well, I'm an inspiring actress myself, and I'm hoping to kind of change all of that. I started getting into writing, and I'm working on a web show now called You Stand, We Stand Together. So,
Wonderful.
Thank you. Okay, so tell us, what can we expect from Charnele Brown today? I know you are an acting coach.
I've been underground, which has been lovely.
Yes.
I have an acting school here in Houston. Incredible talent here. I've been saying it for the last 10 years that Hollywood is going to come to Houston, Texas.
Wow.
It's going to come now.
Awesome.
It's a lot of wonderful things here utilized for the third largest city. And so with that said, there's a lot of incredible talent here. And what I do is I teach technique because I know they're coming. And so when they do come, they can compete. And get these jobs.
Right.
So that's what I'm working on. And I'm working on a pilot. We're in the process of trying to get financing for it called Mercy Me.
Okay.
And it's a family show. It's the Cosby Show meets Modern Family.
Okay.
So it's today. It's today with our crazy kids.
Wow.
Today. And so
awesome.
our kids, it's not the Cosby Show anymore.
Okay.
There's a lot of fun.
Okay. Wow. Well, we definitely look forward to that, and all blessings from above on that one. But keep me posted on that.
I will.
Yeah.
And also too, I have a film called Coffee Clutch.
Okay.
That I've been working on for many years, and we're trying to get financing for that. But it's all in God's timing.
Amen.
I'm very patient because I want it to be done right.
Right.
If he's in it, it's done right. If you rush something and he's not in it, it's not. It won't reach the people, because after all, entertainment is about reaching people.
Yes.
And giving them some sort of feeling.
Wow.
And that's what we do. And so I'm waiting patiently.
Right.
Things are going slowly, but they're moving.
Right. As long as they're moving, that's what I tell people.
Exactly.
Just keep moving as long as you're making some progress, but be patient and don't give up, Just keep pressing. Wow, well, I'm so excited for you for that. And I know you was telling me that you have some clients that you're working with that are writers or poets.
Actually, I have, it's incredible. We have to help each other as much as we can.
Right.
And I have a dear friend of mine, her name is Jan Renee Simon Vaughn, who is writing her first book called Love and Rage. Incredible book that we're working on, and we should be ready by sometime next year, like in the middle, like in June or July. We're working on that, and I would love for you to interview her.
Yes.
She's amazing, and I also have one of my students who just created and directed and produced his first film short, which I'm so excited that his name is Marcus Freeman, and it's called The Plank.
Okay.
And it's a wonderful short, and he's looking eventually to get financing for that. And so, you never know, who's listening, you never know what's going on. But I say you have not because you ask not.
Amen.
And so we have to get out there and let people know what we're doing, and for people to get involved if they like to. And if not, when it comes out, please support us.
Yes. Yes. Look, any support is appreciated.
Exactly.
That's another thing that
Have
I
to
go
support
by.
each other.
Right. Amen. Wow. That is great, Charnele. That is awesome. Okay, so tell everybody where they can reach you at.
Well, I'm here in Houston, Texas,
Mm-hmm.
and my website, actually, it's easier to give the email because the website is long.
Okay.
The website is quite long lately. But
Okay.
it's Charay Vaughn Productions, that's TRIWEN, Productions with an S, 20@yahoo.com.
Okay, awesome. So if you guys are into acting and taking some classes and you're in Houston, Texas, or you can get there, definitely look up Charnele Brown. All right.
And 75% of our actors are working. As we speak.
Awesome. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I wish I lived closer.
I wish you did too. It's fun. It's so wonderful to see, these actors get it. And when you get it, longevity is about, training.
Right.
It's God has given us that gift, but you got to hone it.
Right.
You got to go further. You
Right.
can't just do talent. We've seen that fail. You just have
Right.
to keep going and, and keep honing that craft. So when the time comes, because God will open up that door,
Yes.
it's up to you to be ready.
Right, right. I actually have a Facebook friend of mine named Crystal Blaylock. I think she resides in Texas as well. I'm not sure what part though. And she's trying to get me to come there, and I'm like, because planes is not one of my biggest things, but I know it's going to be a necessity if I guess go a little further in this thing here.
Yeah, you got to come out. You got to come out. I just went to a premiere of a film, a gentleman, incredible film.
Mm-hmm.
I Forgive and Forget, and it was amazing. And he did it on low budget, and it was his first time out, and he was brilliant. Brilliant.
Okay.
So there's a lot of talent and a lot of things happening in Houston, Texas. A lot. And I know it's going to be a lot more.
Right, right, right. Well, I have a couple of people that wanted me to shout them out. They say they love you, and one of them is Ludrick,
Thank you.
and my sister actually Cynthia Vaughn Stevens.
Hey, guys. Thanks for your love and support. I
Yeah,
appreciate
they
it.
told me to tell you hi.
Hi, guys. Really appreciate that. That's very humbling. That's not a given. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes. Well, before we go, I wanted to get some encouraging words from you and your thoughts on all this racial profiling that's been happening lately.
Yes. Yeah. Well, actually, my stand is a lot of people are not going to like it, but I really don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that it starts at home.
Right.
We have to turn things around and stop black-on-black crime, because if we do that, they feel that it's an okay to do it to us because we do it to ourselves.
Right.
It does not make sense, but this is the world that we're living in.
Right.
And I really, truly believe, and I talk about this all the time, is that, my mom and my grandma used to talk about how they used to live where everything was in-house. They had their own doctors, own lawyers, own everything. And so all the dollars were within the community. And I always tell people the only way to remedy this is to take your power back. And it's not all white people are not good, and not all white people are bad. Not all black people are good, not all people are bad.
Right.
You have some candidates that are in charge that need to be removed.
Yes.
You have to vote.
Right.
You have to vote. You got to teach your kids and yourself to vote. And power. Start using your dollars wisely and start investing in African American businesses.
Right.
The little thing is possible. I mean, if you start going after, I tell people with Prada and Gucci, I don't know those guys.
Right.
I'm not going to wear white pants. I'm not going to do that. I'm just not, because I love who I am. I love blackness. I love us. I think that we're the best thing since sliced bread.
Right.
And so I go out and I venture out and find black businesses to patrons, because we have to keep our dollars in-house. What's happening is I found out that when a dollar is spent in the black community, it only stays in for 2 hours. Can you believe that?
Wow.
2 hours, and it's gone.
Wow.
It's gone. So we have to regroup, and I really believe that, God is with all this stuff that's happening, He's trying to tell us something. He's trying to tell our community something.
Mm-hmm.
Is that you guys are floating all over the place. We're floating. Everybody else is not floating. You have the Mexicans and Spanish. They stay together. They have the in-house. Their dollars stay.
Right.
You have the Chinese. They tolerate. They do, but everything stays with them. With us, we are all over the place.
Right.
And we're giving dollars to people who don't really care about us.
That's true.
What I've started doing is researching, like Walmart, or, where are your dollars going? How do you feel about me?
Right.
As an African American, how do you feel? And if you don't feel that great about me, and you're not feeling me, you should not be feeling my dollars.
That's right. I know that's right.
And that's the only way. That's the only way that we're going to win. I mean, protesting is beautiful. I love it. Everybody's out there doing everything, but we need to do more.
Yes.
And also, too, I always say, don't talk about it, be about it.
Right, right.
I've been patronizing African American businesses, and I'll do it till the day I die.
Awesome. Well,
And exactly. And I will vote till the cows come home. So I'm doing my part. And so if each person does that, you can see the transformation will be amazing, because that's where you get them. They don't care whether you march. They care when you hurt them in their pocket.
Yeah.
So that's what we're built on.
That's true.
Money.
That's true.
So that's my take. I know a lot of people are not going to like it, but
I agree with you. I agree with you. Why support someone who doesn't support you? I mean, and that goes in every aspect of life. Especially when people are hurting us. And I truly believe, and I've been saying this at the same time, protesting and speaking out is good, but change start with us. Look at what we are doing to each other. We have to change that.
Yes. Why don't we protest a little boy who's being shot by another little boy?
Yes.
Where are we protesting?
Yes.
Let's protest us.
Yes.
Let's get ourselves together, and then we have to come together. It's harder for them to infiltrate because we're divided.
Yes.
Right now, we're all over the place, so they can do whatever they want.
Yes.
They can do, but it's going to happen because we're built on racism. That's just the way it is in this country. But if we're together and we're together with sound mind, there's no reason for them to come at us. Now they're saying it's just fear because we're all over the place. If we're not all over the place, what would they fear? Nothing. Nothing.
Well, I hope we do get it together, because like you stated earlier, I mean, everybody, every other, nationality and race, they bond and they stick together. But with us African Americans, we're just all over the place.
And I have a theory too. So, my mom laughed at me. I remember with Martin Luther King when he was saying equality. I think we misunderstood what he meant, because at the time before he did all of that, everything was in house. My mom said, like you said, our doctor was black, our dentist, the grocery store, everything. And I think what we did was we dropped everything and we assimilated. That's not what he said.
Wow.
He just said respect, equality.
Right.
Equality means equal for all, not to go to where they are and try to be equal.
Right.
That's not what he meant. And so I think that what happened was we dropped everything. We dropped owning all the theaters. We dropped everything to come on over to where they are, which I think is absurd to me. I don't know what happened. I would love to be in a community where I can go to my drugstore and see me and the owner and patronize that owner and put my dollars back in, and so we can build our community.
Right, because we deserve just as much.
Yeah, we deserve that. We deserve it. Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely praying for the minds of his people.
Me too. Me too. And I always say it takes one, because I'm doing my part. And if everybody, each one would be hell on wheels.
Yes. Just gotta stop being scared, and definitely I agree to get more educated and get more involved. Because it's not just enough to just vote, but you have to be educated in who exactly are you voting to.
Exactly.
And
you have to do your homework, but you should be a part of it, because you can make a difference.
Yes.
I mean, they know they can make a difference, and they know that we're not going to come to the polls, so they're going to run amok. But look what we did with President Obama. We came to the polls, but then after that, we shut him down. We forgot all about him. We forgot to support him. So then, the House is all Republican, where it could have been Democrat. Even though Democrats and Republicans are the same thing.
Yeah,
but,
they can be.
It's the lesser of two evils.
Yeah, and we definitely got to keep praying.
No one went out.
Right.
Nobody went out to vote.
Right. And definitely pray over, because, there are a lot of wolves in sheep clothing, and people that get into places just because, and they still want to hurt us, So definitely pray.
Yeah, pray it up. Prayer works.
Wow. But thank you so much, Charnele, and you keep up the good work. I'm just so encouraged and inspired by you.
And I saw I saw it on YouTube.
Okay, you did? What'd you think about it?
I liked it a lot. It's very different, which is nice. we need an array of everything. We need, I mean, as I don't know why we do this, but when an idea comes, we just mimic everything, and we should have an array of everything.
Yes.
Because we all don't like everything, so it's nice to have an array of different things.
Thank you.
And you guys, I'm proud of you guys. Keep doing it because we need you.
Thank you. Yeah, they are.
We're getting older. We need some people coming up, that are powerful and love the craft and very creative in what they do.
Thank you. Yeah, it just came to me. I haven't went to school for anything. It became I guess I just got thrown in and just became a passion of mine. A majority of them are actually first-time actors, and I'm going in unexperienced, but just going with the leading of the Lord with how to work this thing, and I am going to write. Amen.
Exactly. Can't go wrong with that.
And I'm working on episode 2 now, which I'm going to be taking everybody back to the beginning. Thank you. Hopefully we can get you on one day.
You never know. You never say never.
Yes.
You never know.
Okay, awesome. Well, happy holidays to you and your family.
Well, happy holidays to you. Thank you.
I love you so much, my sister.
I love you too.
And
Yay. I mean, I'm very excited. I love these blogs and radio shows because they go all over.
Yes.
Which is really great. And like I say, you never know who's listening.
Yes.
You never know.
Amen. I'm so excited for this play that I am going to be a part of in February called He Cheated, Why Me? Yes, Palmer Williams Floyd from Tyler Perry's Love Thy Neighbor. He's hosting.
Oh, I love him.
And Euclid Gray, Reverend Oliver from Meet the Browns, he's in it. And the writer is LaWanda Davis. So I'm excited. I'm actually playing the lead role, Denise.
Now, where's that going to be held?
It's going to be in Elizabethtown, North Carolina, February 7th. Yes. It's like it's like by, I don't know if you know anything about North Carolina, but I think the other side of Lumberton, North Carolina.
Okay, yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay, it's off of 95.
But anybody, but that's also now I'm going to reverse it. Anybody in North Carolina come out and
Yes, I'm going to Thank you. Yes, I'm gonna inbox you the flyer. I know I have it as my main photo, but your friends list is full, so.
Yeah, I know.
But
yeah, Facebook is interesting, but if it's okay when you send it to me, I would love to put it on both my pages.
Yes, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you so much. Well, you have a blessed day, sis, and I will talk to you later. And you guys always remember to let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Thank you so much. You take care. God bless.
Hello, this is Vincent K. Harris, and I find it an honor to be able to teach something that I'm very, very passionate about, and that is business and personal finances. Many of you have seen me travel this great country and speak at different business conferences, universities, and corporations about the topic, or you may have seen me on social media at Vince Inspires. Well, I am here to help you guys, at least in my own small way, with business and personal finances specifically, on how it is that I think, how it is that I solve problems, and how it is that I look at finances in general. I hope you guys enjoy. We all have to address outflows each month. In this video, we're going to give you potential solutions to turn your outflows into inflows. Outflows are debts, living expenses, and the things that make life fun for you or your family. Without cutting life, find ways to turn that outflow into an opportunity to make money for you. That's the question you have to ask for each and every way you currently spend money. There are about 3 to 4 things you can do to potentially turn that outflow, regardless of which one it is, into money for you and your family each and every month. The first thing you can do is reduce it. I teach this principle called the 10-10 principle. And basically what it says is this: find 10 items or 10 ways you currently spend money and reduce each one of them by $10 a piece. This produces $100 at least in phase 1 of this principle each and every month without getting a part-time job. Think about it. Not only are you not getting that part-time job, you didn't have to leave your family, you were not bumped into a higher tax bracket. Only thing you're doing is simply reducing your expenses, or at least finding 10 of them and reducing them by $10 a piece each and every month. Now, It doesn't stop there. Phase 2 says to find 10 items and reduce them by $20 each per month. Phase 3 is $30 each per month. Regardless, look at all the ways you currently spend money. Identify 10 of them and reduce, at least in phase 1, each of them by $10 a piece. Option number 2 is to reduce it. Just as we must eliminate waste from our bodies in order to survive, we have to eliminate wasteful spending that does not assist us in achieving our purpose. You should look at each one of your outflows to see what can be eliminated, right? Additionally, look at your tech stuff. Many times you will have unnecessary deductions you intended to have for just a short period of time that have now grown into months or even years. And you may also want to do the same thing with automatic drafts that you have coming out of your account. Review them monthly to make sure everything is still needed. So whether it's your check stub or even your bank account, review those 2 items to see, hey, listen, everything that's automatically coming out, do I currently still need them in my life? If you do, of course, keep them. If not, make sure you eliminate them because you could have just simply forgot about them. Option number 3 is to make your items or any way you're currently spending money tax deductible. With the proper tax mentors in your life, they can assist you in looking at every way you presently spend money and show you how to make these outflows potentially tax deductible. Notice how you've created new tax deductions if you take their advice without spending any additional money, which in most cases, most tax professionals can show you how to do. The more tax deductions you have legally, the larger your tax fund will be in the upcoming year. Then your 4th option is to make your money work harder for you. Think about this example. Maybe you currently have some type of membership, or you're in some type of investment group, or you guys have a group that you come together with each and every month that you pay some type of monthly fee to, right? Well, the way to make that money spent work harder for you is that A, you may want to ask better questions. B, you may want to connect with someone individually from that group to have questions one-on-one, or agree to be able to email them one-on-one, let's say with one question each week. Either way, allow that money spent to work harder for you, where you're gaining even more understanding, even more knowledge, and you're only spending the same amount of money. So consider making your money that you currently spend work harder for you each and every month. Of course, there's all types of ways you can create money without a part-time job. These are only 3 or 4 items that I've come up with. Yet at the same time, you may have jogged a couple of things into your mind to say, you know what? I can not only use that particular principle, but I can combine it with this to supercharge your potential idea. Either way, take out the time to take your financial future very, very serious. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to this. Anytime you do not invest in yourself, you're losing. You really are. You're losing. And this is the key, or this is another key principle. You cannot expect to reap a harvest in an area you haven't sown into.